Hi. First of all, a bit of an apology for the fact that I haven't been really as active as I'd like, but things have come up in life as they sometimes do, and I would always say to someone, those things should take priority. If you can pass them off to someone who you trust to do it for you, brilliant, that'd be even better. But unfortunately, you know, there are certain things where you can't really just pass it off. So that's been kind of my reasoning. But I have had a bit of a thought really about, you know, sort of things that I want to perhaps cover off in the future. Obviously, you know, aside from if major things happen in the world or something like that, which I feel, you know, deserve commentary. You know, I think it's always good to have a few ideas that you want to do up your sleeve. So you may recall there is obviously, you know, in my might even actually be on the suggestions and things, but you know, there is obviously my Reform Section 5 video as a response to Leighton Way. You know, obviously we'll make sure they are both linked down so you can actually make sure that you can watch them. But really, obviously, that was me covering off a section of the Human Rights Act in relation to Section 5 of the Public Order Act in UK law. And I'm not a legal student at all. I've picked information up really through, you know, just experience really. And really kind of being messed around by people and kind of having to learn how to deal with that. So you may recall, as I say, that I did cover off, I believe it's Article 12 off the top of my head, with the fact that basically everyone has a right to express themselves however they see fit. And I was thinking, well, we need people, I think, to have a better understanding of the human rights kind of legislation. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I suppose a mini-series on the human rights details. So yeah, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as actually, it's a lot older than I thought. It does actually in fact go way back to 1948, and they said 68 then because it was 60 years old a few years ago. Again, obviously there are links to further information below because I'm wonderfully useful like that, but yeah. So it's quite an old bit of information. I actually didn't think it was that old when I first heard of it either. But yeah, it's you know, a lot of things that have been carried out technically in that intervening 60 years shouldn't have done if people were in fact taking responsibility really and taking notice of it. And that's kind of perhaps why I think we need to move forward. I mean, this, you know, I'm probably not going to cover as much of the rights officers as much as what I'm actually looking to do, and I do apologise for that if people just want to get into the nitty-gritty. I'll see if I can maybe sort of do a link to when I first really cover off, you know, sort of the articles themselves. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of scary information out there about people perhaps having their rights not necessarily violated, but not upheld. Apologies, that's reference material. If you've seen this before, if you've seen the Section 5 video. If you haven't seen the Section 5 video, then why not? I'm not going to cover off Article 12 twice. It is in there. When it comes to it in the flow of these videos, I will say, Article 12, that video. So, yeah, you know, it's really quite scary. I mean, from personal experience, you know, I'm not going to go into specific detail about where it was or when it was or anything like that. It is actually on investigation at the moment, so I don't really want to obviously say too much to potential impact that. But a police officer basically told me when I said I am aware of my rights because of my... I didn't explain it, you know, because I've researched so much, but when I explained that I was in fact aware of my rights, he said, and I quote, "You don't know anything." I'm so sorry, I don't know anything. Really? Because I think that is completely naughty of him. And potentially, sorry, yeah, that's Article 12, sorry. Article 18, no, 19, sorry, it's my fault. 19, I should have probably researched that before, but 19 is in fact the, freedom of expression and stuff. But yeah, Article 12 is what he'd reached, basically, because he's calling my good name into question. He's making an assumption on me that I don't know anything. I'm saying it in a very aggressive manner as well. That was I think, the crutch. Or the crux, really, not the crutch. Wasn't a walking aid at all. The crux of the matter, and that's why the issue was raised with the relevant police standards department, I think it is, or PSD, via the IPCC, and I will put those links below. Probably this in every other video, just as a case of, if you need to report something where the police have assumed that you know nothing, and perhaps not upheld your rights, then you need to make this known. Who's watching the Watchmen? That's the kind of thing, and really it's us as citizens. That's our job, to make sure they're doing their job. But anyway, I'm kind of skipping ahead of myself with that, and you'll see why in a later video. So just very briefly, I might just cover off the first couple of articles now, because like I say, I've not really got much time, and rather than me read everything, I'm going to put things up. Look at that, technology, eh? So, Article 1, which is there. So basically, yeah, we're all humans. Well done us. And we should therefore treat each other as humans, not, well, I'm a human because I'm blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan race. He's not human because he has brown eyes. No, we're human. We are, all of us. And we should, I like the wording, the word for word kind of approach on it. We should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, going back to my identity video, just to, I suppose, slide in here, because, if people are like, well, why not sisterhood? Or why not personhood? I don't know, siblinghood, I guess. Unfortunately, in law, particularly back in 1948, male pronouns were pretty much the thing. And if you're quoting it word for word, it's probably still going to be in a male approach. So it's not me doing this out of choice. It's not anyone doing it out of choice. That's a separate argument, okay? I'm not wanting to reword it all, because I'm wanting to give you the words that are down. My opinion later on is obviously going to be in my way. But if you remember one important fact, that the word man used to be used in the same sense as mankind. So a man means a person, well, an individual. There's a whole different thing in legality about person, but that might be a future video. So, I don't want this to obviously drag on too long. I don't want to bore you guys. So yeah, Article 1, we're all human, be nice to each other. In brief, I like this. So Article 2. Yeah. It's I like the fact that they kind of, a lot of the time to follow on various articles of them. I'll try and really group them together as much as possible in the videos, if I can. With a weird Popeye face. I think that's a good way to group anything. But yeah, so everyone, really, without discrimination of any kind, is protected under these rights, or persecuted under these rights. At the end of the day, if you've done something in breach of these rights, you will be treated the same as anyone else. If your rights have been breached, no one can say, well, they haven't because you're a green, secular alienist. I was trying to not do things that really exist, okay? I don't want to offend anyone by, if I sort of say that, it's like, oh, you're against them. I'm against no one, because otherwise, why am I upholding this? Why am I giving this information to you? But yeah, and also, I do like the second part of it as well. You can be from Guam, China, India, or England. You have these rights, no matter what your territory says, unless they have very clear, explicit kind of agreements with the UN, basically, to opt out. But that's not really a common thing that happens. So, yeah. So that's the first and second. As I say, I'm not going to go on too long because I've obviously done the introduction as to what I'm doing. So, yeah. We're all human, be nice to each other, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, the colour of your skin, whatever, and where you live. Do it. You're all entitled to it. Look after each other, and just be sound. Just be nice. You know, and together, I think together, really, knowing this information, we can do a lot of good. If we're allowed to. But there's a whole other video series. So yeah, thanks for watching and paying attention, and I'll hopefully see you within a shorter time period. I'm eventually aiming to go very rapid, but at the moment I'm thinking of like every week you should get more me. So I apologise in advance. No, seriously. But yeah, every week you should get more me, so, you know, and the more support, the more I'll do. So if you're interested, spread the word, and I'll see you next time. Take care.